Hi, and welcome to Best Self, Best Health YouTube channel. So I am Jen, and I am a parenting coach and a healthy living coach. I basically want to make sure that I can help people through some of the most stressful times in their life, whether that's with parenting challenges or where they're trying to bring some healthy back into their life after it not being present for a while. I wanted to start this channel off by doing some little tips, tricks, information in small bites that people could access just to get an idea of A, how to better their life, and B, what best self health really is all about. So I want to start with the most basic thing, and that is my love and appreciation for neuroscience. And I am definitely not a doctor, and I do read a lot because I really love the subject, but I feel like a little bit of introduction to you about where emotions, behavior stems from, and where I come from when I'm talking to parents, whether that's dealing with a spouse, a coworker, or the stress in their life from that, or with their children. So I'm going to talk a little bit about your amygdala and your cerebral cortex, your prefrontal cortex. So there are tons of videos out there. Feel free to go on the rabbit hole that this is. This is just a short little snippet to hopefully give you an idea of what people are talking about and a basic understanding of what goes on in the biology. So, evolutionarily speaking, your brain has what is sometimes referred to as the amygdala. Sometimes it's referred to in the whole system as the limbic system. Some doctors actually use color codes for this. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as the reptilian brain or your innate brain. And this is the bottom part of your brain. If you've ever seen Dr. Daniel Siegel, he does a cool hand model, and he talks about the base brain, and then he talks about the or downstairs brain, and then the upstairs brain, which is your cerebral cortex. So starting with the downstairs brain, this is your amygdala. This is the portion of your brain that responds quickly to triggers. It is part of your automatic nervous system in the form of your sympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is something you're probably very aware of, even though you might not know the names of it. This is what happens when you sense any sort of stress or danger, and it results in things like your pupils dilating. It results in rapid breathing. It results in increase in heart rate, and it is controlled by amygdala. Your amygdala has three main things that it focuses on in times of danger. And that is something you have maybe heard of as FFF, which is to freeze, to fight, or to flee. These are all automatic responses. This takes no thought. There is no logical consequence going on at this point in time. It is stimulated by a trigger. That trigger stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. It is an immediate response system, and it is very rapid. It also shoots some hormones into your body like adrenaline, epinephrine, and norepinephrine, and is very quick to respond. Okay, when this happens, you freeze, and sometimes freezing, so for kids, can look like they're not paying attention to you. They tune you out. Sometimes they focus inward and they shut down. Sometimes freezing looks like hiding. So they sometimes can just drop into a ball, curl up, go under a table. They can fight, and fighting can be physical fighting. So throwing things, hitting, punching, kicking, biting, all of those things. But fighting can also be verbal. If you've ever experienced some road rage as an adult, that is the fight response when something is triggered. These kids can also, and adults too, attack verbally. So this is someone who, when you're trying to speak to them or interact with them, they're oppositional. Everything they say is going to be a fight with you because that's what their brain is telling them to do. And the third is flee. A lot of people have the flee instinct. That's when they just get out of there. So do whatever they need to do, say whatever they need to say, and get out. Sometimes there is no response and they just leave. Some kids literally run. Some kids run to a specific place, a safety place where they feel most safe. Some just run, which is the scariest, that they can just run and run and run because that's what their brain says to do. All right, the opposite of this sympathetic nervous system is the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system cannot happen at the same time. They do not function at the same time. It's either one or the other. So if your amygdala, I call it amygdala hijack, has hijacked, you're in FFF zone, that's how you're going to respond. All this stuff is pumping through you. What we want is to bring on the calming effects of the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is run by the upstairs brain, the cortex, cerebral cortex. You might hear the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that understands logic. It can analyze. It can do some thinking and connecting. It understands consequences. This is the part of the brain that we want to be in charge. And this is the part of the brain that we oftentimes try to get people to flip, right, from this crazy sympathetic to the parasympathetic. It will calm down all those things that we talked about. This is when pupils return to normal. This is when you feel more in control. This is when you can logically talk to somebody else, and that is hard to do in some things. These two major things that go on are like a fight within us. And I want to make it clear that anyone who is triggered into FFF is not really in control of their faculties, right? They're not thinking. So if this is happening, then it's really important that you have some tools and resources. If it's happening to you, how do you flip yourself back? If it's happening to an adult that you know, how do you respond? If it's happening to your child, how do you respond? So my next videos are going to be some different tips, some different tricks, some different resources to help when you have this amygdala hijack, this limbic response, when this reptilian brain is literally trying to save your life. And we know, evolutionarily speaking, that this has been around for thousands of years, and it has suited us well as humans to help save our lives. So I don't want to take away its power. It is very powerful, and it can help in really dangerous situations. You're hiking in the woods and you see a bear. It can happen even in the city if you're in danger. So it is an important part of our biology, but it can also be stimulated at times when we may not be in immediate danger, but there's some sort of trigger that has happened. And those are the times that I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and how to help. So you can subscribe to this channel if you like these types of videos and learn some more tips and tricks. You can visit www.bestselfbesthealth.com if you have any questions or you want to see the services that we provide. We are also on Facebook and Instagram, so catch up with us. Tell us what you think. Get in contact, be part of the community, and I hope you guys all find this helpful.